of Borough Council. And as you just heard, this meeting is being recorded. Will you please rise for the invocation by Carol Littlefield?
Dear God, as we begin this meeting, we ask that you would guide our thoughts and actions so that we may have a successful meeting. Help us to accomplish our goals while displaying your character. We pray these things in your mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Please remain standing for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. And Madam Secretary, will you note the attendance, please, for the recording?
Everyone is independent.
Awesome. Except one junior council.
One thing that
Okay, he did it for the mayor, he would not be here. Okay, thank you very much. So, as council and maybe the public knows now, we, changed our approval of minutes for meetings as well as approval of the bills to a consent agenda. So, council, I will, entertain two different motions, one for minutes, which would be combined work session and regular borough council meeting, and we'll do likewise for the bill approval.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the minutes for the November 6th, 2023 regular Borough Council meeting, as well as the November 20th, 2023 work session.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilor Sally and Littlefield for approval of minutes of November 2nd and November 20th. All in favor of those, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Madam Secretary, that passes, and likewise for the bill.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the bills for the month of November and the reoccurring bills for December 2023.
I'll second. Okay, thank you, Matt. I have motion by Councilor Littlefield and Banana to approve the regular bills for the month of November 2023 and the recurring bills for the month of December. Likewise, all in favor of that motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Without objection. All right, then, Madam Secretary, we have, I see we have public hearing, followed by the resolution. However, please allow me to allow Jessica from Souderton Connects to, comment briefly so she could not have to stay through the hearing.
Good evening, everyone. Now we're coming off of a great weekend. We had a truly magical Friday and Saturday night in this town. The tree lighting was first with the new tree, new location. We had a great turnout for it to be a rainy night, so I can only imagine what it will be like next year. It's not raining. I'm gonna make sure it doesn't rain. But we had a great turnout, and Madison Shelling, she lit the tree, so I hope people have driven by and seen it. So that's actually a great picture.
It is
of her.
awesome.
Yeah, so that was great, and then of course Saturday was an awesome parade. It was perfect weather. Everyone, so many people in this room, chief, everyone really helped out. People helped out. I'm just so floored. I've just been happy and tired, but happy. So it really went great. So I appreciate this town all coming together, and I've gotten a lot of compliments that we are such a great town. People that have come back actually, years living away. Someone pulled me aside at the tree lighting and said they love the events and the fields of Souderton. So that was nice. But moving on, this week we have our economic development is doing another one of our business bites. We're doing it for breakfast this time at the hub. It's on Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. to 9:30. We are going to focus on HR for some of the local businesses that have asked us to bring in an HR specialist. So Jim Devine, he is the vice president and senior HR consultant for Univest. He is going to come and speak, and businesses can come and have a little bite to eat and ask some questions and stuff from him. So we're looking forward to that. And then at 12:30 that same day, we are actually celebrating the 5-year anniversary of North Bend. So you can come out and celebrate with them. We'll be there. 12:30, that's right, 12:30 we'll be there. So that's right on the horizon. And, obviously we've had some good, 5-year anniversaries. We did one for Power, soccer, Powerhouse Soccer, and, Highly Mystical with their ribbon fest. So we're really chugging away and having a lot of those, reaching out and working with the businesses, which is, the other side of the event. So that's one side, business development is the other. So moving into 2024, again, I'm just getting it out there, and meet with more businesses and see what we can do to help them. So gonna take a little break for a day.
Yeah, right.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. Okay, then one of the purposes for this evening is to have a public hearing regarding a request for a liquor license transfer from outside of the borough into the borough from one of our business owners. Stacy, are any introductions necessary, or shall I pass it on to the gentleman?
They can, we have, Patel here from the 672 East, Broad, Street, and then, his attorney is Ray.
Okay, gentlemen, feel free to come up to the microphone, and this is obviously being recorded as stenographer as well.
Hi, my name is Greg Zoll. I'm a friend of Larry Mahara. Prior to the beginning of the council meeting, I passed out what I have marked as Exhibit A, which is the proposed floor plan, what the layout of the store will be. That plan is subject to approval by the Pennsylvania Liquor Commission. I'm here tonight along with the next account, President and sole owner of Souderton Food Mart. We're here to request the council members of Souderton Borough approve a resolution permitting the intermunicipal transfer of a restaurant liquor license from outside the municipality to within it, pursuant to revised liquor code title 47, section 461B3. The liquor license would be transferred to Souderton Food Mart for use at its current store located at 672 East Broad Street. As you know, the liquor code permits the PLCB to approve the transfer of a license from any municipality in Montgomery County to another municipality in Montgomery County, so long as you, the receiving municipality, issue a resolution approving said transfer. Souderton Food Mart has been operating its convenience store and gas station in Souderton Borough since 2013. It will be renovating its current location. The current building will undergo various renovations in order to add a new beer cooler, as well as to rearrange the store to provide ample space for a seating area to accommodate a minimum of 30 patrons, as required under the liquor code. The renovations are tentatively set to begin around late December and are estimated to be completed sometime in January of 2024. The total square footage of the store is approximately 1,900 square feet. Souderton Food Mart will qualify to hold a restaurant liquor license because we'll have seating for a minimum of 30 patrons, food offerings for 30 patrons at one time, and more than 400 square feet as required by the liquor code. And like I said, I passed on a copy of that work plan earlier, and have that marked as Exhibit A. If anybody has any questions after my presentation, I'll be more than happy to answer those. The location will have approximately 1 full-time employee and 4 part-time employees, not including Mr. Patel, who also served as the licensed manager and president of the store on a daily basis. Souderton Food Mart will offer beer to go up to 192 fluid ounces in a single transaction, and wine to go by way of obtaining a wine expanded permit, which is available to all restaurant and hotel licensees, which means they'll be able to sell up to 4 750 milliliter bottles of wine, not to exceed 3,000 milliliters. Although the store will be open from 4 a.m. to 12 a.m. every day, the beer and wine sales will be limited to Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. until 12 a.m. and from Sunday from 9 a.m. until 12 a.m. All wine sales will end at 11 p.m. every day of the week. In order to be open prior to 7 a.m. from Monday to Saturday and prior to 9 a.m. on Sunday, Souderton Food Mart will obtain an extended Irish food permit, which will permit patrons to be on the licensed premises between the hours of 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. Monday through Saturday, and from 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Sunday. Souderton Food Mart is required by the PLCB to permit on-premises consumption of both beer and wine, even though they would rather not. Souderton Food Mart will allow for consumption of beer and wine for on-premise. However, it will be very limited, will not be advertised. It's not a substantial part of its business model. It must be consumed in the restaurant seating area only. There will be absolutely no consumption of alcohol outdoors, no happy hours or drink specials, no entertainment on the premises, and no liquor sales. The carding, Souderton Food Mart will have a carding policy, which will be 100% carding. The policy will be in place to remove any gray area from alcohol sales. It protects the employees and the public. In addition to carding everyone, Souderton Food Mart will use a card scanner to identify fake and/or fake IDs or underage IDs. No alcohol, no sale, regardless of age. Responsible alcohol management training. We're gonna have a dedicated licensed manager that will see the brand owner manager training as well as the seller service training. All restaurant employees will also receive the ramp seller service training, and the establishment itself will become ramp certified. For security, there will be approximately 16 security cameras that will cover the entire store from inside and out. The store employees and the PLC licensed manager will also physically monitor the restaurant area and the seating area on a regular basis. In summary, Souderton Food Mart has proven to be a responsible owner over the years, is making a significant investment in the borough, which they intend to protect that investment with responsible management and well-trained employees. And for all these reasons, I would ask council to approve the transfer of license from outside municipality to within it. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Any questions? I had a couple questions. That's it. So, from what you said, so they will be selling beer and wine 24 hours a day?
No, they will be, so they'll only be able to sell beer from 7 a.m. to 12 a.m. on Monday through Saturday, and only from 9 a.m. until 12 a.m. on Sundays. All wine sales will have to stop at 11 p.m. every night of the week.
Okay, but your following statement after that suggested that they would be able to do it 24 hours a day.
No, they're only gonna be open from 4 a.m. until 12 a.m.
Okay.
So in order for somebody to be on the licensed premises,
Mm-hmm.
under the liquor code, we have to get an extended hours food permit. So people can be on there to get coffee, get a breakfast sandwich on their way to work, to be actually on the licensed premises. No alcohol sales will take place between the 4 a.m. and the 7 a.m. on Monday through Saturday, and from 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Sunday.
What kind of food is going to be offered?
Prepackaged sandwiches, breakfast sandwiches, prepackaged salads.
They're not a typical restaurant.
No, it's not gonna be, there's won't be food that will be prepared on the premises, so.
Okay, thank you.
Can you describe for us, since you're the expert, we don't know anything, about why? So the liquor control board doesn't have a license specific to what you're doing. You have to have a restaurant liquor license.
We have a restaurant liquor license which allows you to sell beer, wine, and liquor, or we have an eating place retail dispenser license, which, believe it or not, only allows you to sell beer, but it requires you to prepare food and actually have a kitchen. Under the liquor code, the definition of restaurant does not require you to have a kitchen. So basically what we have to do, we try to get a convenience store and grocery store built out, where you just have the aisle, you come down and you buy, you don't have to worry about the seating. In the convenience store situation, we have to take up square footage to basically put seating in, but otherwise, would normally, if you've been into a regular convenience store, they would have products with, shelving with all kinds of products in those areas. That's one of the things that they're basically being able to do.
So there is no convenience.
There is no convenience store license. We only either have a restaurant license or a convenience license. Then with the restaurant license, we're allowed to sell wine to go if we get a wine expanded permit, which allows everything in the store, including milk, bread, and eggs, which you're not allowed to display on the license. We can still bring it up with the beer, the wine, the gas, and everything else that goes with it. No comment.
Well, Mr. Patel, this is a huge investment, so thank you. Thank you. I know it's not cheap, and so you're obviously committed to our community, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
I have a couple questions. They're not super material, but I would be remiss not to address them because we asked a few people to do some due diligence in advance of the hearing. One was from the Montgomery County Planning Commission, and she, Ms. Chloe Moore, and she mentioned a couple of things. One specifically the parking calculations. And the one part I really didn't understand is right now you actually meet parking regulations by way of not some, what's called non-conforming parks. And my guess would be that that's on the side where your maybe current air station is for tires. But Stacy, did you have any, are you able to elaborate on that a little bit, the non-conforming?
Okay, so the way the code is written, and it's depending on how whether you say it's a convenience store, a fast food restaurant, it's whatever, because there's not really a thing in the code because of the weird laws and liquor laws, like to really designate that. So we kind of went through and we basically did the square footage that was going to be required for the, the seating and everything else. And when we all calculated it, if you eliminate the storage areas in the kitchen area, it leaves about 20 square feet. And then it would require 19 spots. But from what was allowed in the use when we implemented it in 1985, which was 13 spots, they have 6 non-conforming spots currently. Therefore, they're meeting the parking requirements for zoning. So that's kind of how that's calculated. You can do it a million different ways, but this is how we did it because it was the fair way to do it. But it was what it was, and we all kind of agreed, including our planner from the county.
Sure.
And just to add to that, the average person basically spends about 4.5 to 5 minutes in a convenience store. I would be very shocked if there were every one of those parking spaces taken up.
Right, but if you guys keep having lottery winners.
Well, that's something we're talking about.
Kind of a follow-up question
Yeah.
to that. Do you have any shared parking agreements with any of your neighbors in the vicinity for the employees or anything? Because one thing that was noted when our zoning officer went by, like he admittedly noticed no vehicles. We were pretty empty at the time and there were no vehicles taking spots for the employees that were working.
Oh, one of my employees leaves right across from the we just walk.
That's what he suspected. Okay. Yeah, thank you. For council, you would have noticed in your packet, and I kind of want to reiterate what Mr. Bricker, the solicitor's guidance for us is in this hearing. First, and I will allow momentarily anyone that, I'll have 2 public comment sections today. First, for the purposes of this hearing, and the second one will be a little bit later for the standard public comment. The second is for what you have to ask in your mind, council, is if and whether the actual transfer of the liquor license will in and of itself result in any detriment to the public health, safety, or general welfare. So, and finally, the purpose of this hearing is not for the borough to unnecessarily impose any conditions or restrictions on the transfer of the liquor license, because we believe that authority rests with the Liquor Control Board.
You stole my phone.
Have good guidance and good counsel. Okay, so just so you guys know that. Yes, sir.
I have a question. The 60 square feet of Beer City, that's where your customers are going to be seated and enjoying an open container.
If they choose to consume a beverage on the premises, there's 2 different seating areas. They're split. Actually, there's only going to be 2 areas. If you look at Exhibit A,
That's what I'm looking at.
the only 2 areas that are going to be unlicensed are going to be between the cereal, where it says in the middle, where you have the shelving units, the area between the cereal and grocery and the cookies and the protein bars, and the candies and chips. That area is going to be unlicensed. And then the only other area that's going to be unlicensed is if you go down where the soft drinks, energy drinks, soda, and iced tea. You're gonna see where there's milk and eggs. That little triangle area is also gonna be the only other unlicensed area. So basically, out of the 1,900 square feet that we have, if you eliminate the bathroom, we're gonna probably have about 18, it's gonna probably be, well, I would probably say about 1,700 square feet of space where patrons will be able to walk. That's how the liquor board basically calculates that. The seating area itself, we just have it broken down here, but that's gonna take 60 square feet up there, and then the other seating area down below is gonna do that, have 280 square feet. And
Okay,
it's just split it up.
yeah, sure. But my question was pointed more towards, if you've got customers that are seated there drinking alcohol, how are you gonna keep the patrons from leaving with their open containers to get in their cars, their vehicles?
Well, we're gonna have employees that are gonna be there. Where the doors at, we're gonna have employees that are gonna be behind the counter. Because it's basically gonna all be self-serve. It's not gonna be like sit down where people are gonna be bringing drinks. To the tables and that. If somebody wanted to have a beer with a hoagie, wanted to sit down at one of the tables, under the liquor code, we have to allow. Personally, we'd prefer not to have any on-premises consumption, but we're gonna have security cameras, so we'll be able to watch them. It's not that far of a distance from where you see where the registers are at, they're right next to the door.
Yeah, well,
And that
my
would
next
stop-
question is about the cameras. What kind of quality resolution are you gonna have with these cameras?
It's, I don't remember exactly, but it's the latest, implement of the camera. It's 10D.
And you'll be able to, how long does it store down?
About, 3 weeks, maybe it's about. But we, I
So if there's an issue later on, law enforcement can come back to your cameras and see them a few weeks later.
yeah, they can,
You'll retain that kind of data.
in fact, right now I'm supporting, any request that comes from our police.
They already do because of the pumps, the gas pump.
Okay,
And that, I mean,
And the
that's-
reason
I mean,
my-
the police department will have access to the cameras regardless. I mean, if there's something in a car has to go by.
well, I'm sure they will,
Okay.
but if you're overriding every day, they're not gonna have much time to get information.
No, I mean, the reason that a lot, that our clients basically get something that's gonna save at least 3 weeks worth of data is because the liquor control board, if something happened, a minor gets served, they're gonna be out there within that time frame. We wanna have that data so that we're able to go back.
Okay, and then my other concern is because you've got people seated in the facility drinking, and that's a busy intersection there, especially at peak traffic periods. I'm concerned about somebody being drunk and getting in their car and leaving.
Here's the only thing that I can tell you based on past experience with the other convenience stores, big chains, little chains, mom and pops. Probably less than 0.001% of all sales are for on-premises consumption. People are going in there grabbing, the bulk of them are going in there grabbing a 6-pack, maybe a bottle of wine, grabbing a hoagie, paying for their gas, grabbing a gallon of milk, and they're out. I mean, it's not gonna be set up to where you're gonna go down there and watch. It's gonna pain me to say this, Eagles, but I'm an Eagles fan. Too. I just don't hold that. But they're not gonna be hanging out there. There's not gonna be anything where you're gonna go down there and watch the game, and you're just gonna sit down.
And I think to your point, it's not different than the business model of, say, Royal Farms.
Real farm,
Couple of
we represent Chiefs, Wawa, Wegmans, Giant, Acme. I mean, even like in those restaurants, the percentage of on-premises consumption is super, super small. And part of the being a licensee, it's up to the establishment, which is why the employees all go through the RAM training, the establishment itself is the RAM certified. So that they can recognize whether or not somebody's visibly intoxicated, there's not gonna be a sale. If somebody comes in and doesn't have an ID, regardless of their age, there's not gonna be a sale. So all of the protections that we could possibly do, including scanning IDs, that's all gonna be part of the business.
Thank you.
Real fast, just to add into the record, we did, advertise this in the, if you want.
Yeah, it was advertised, November 19th, 23rd, and 26th.
Perfect. One more than required.
Yeah. I don't.
Just a really minor one, and then I'll open it up to the public. I'm not a planner, I'm not an acting engineer either. Where your bathroom is, the last beer cave door, this shows it like opening up into the bathroom, like,
Those lines,
and I know, look,
this
I know
is
that,
some from the CAD drawing.
yeah,
Those lines right there, there'll be plenty of space. The cooler door, I mean, it opens up into that hallway that's gonna basically be right there. That's gonna be an open area. So unless somebody has to go in and load anything into the back of the coolers, because it's all gonna basically be reaching door type coolers. It's not gonna be like where we have like the beer cave. It's over here where there'll be cases here, but you'll be able to walk in over on that backside.
okay, perfect. Okay, at this time, then, Kevin, Kevin. All right, thank you. How many employees are gonna be on at one time? Constantly?
We have been,
Two employees.
I'm going back to the parking a little bit. I was thinking about, I've been there a few times and it has been full. There's been no place to park. I know you get gas deliveries. Typically, how long do they sit in the lot? I know they block that whole one side when they're in there,
I'm talking about the truck road,
when they're delivering gas.
about 15. And they usually come off peak hours, because they try to manage their way.
Okay.
So they're not occupying the driving space or the parking.
And I know you have a couple of those sit-down lottery machines in there that people hang out for a while. But you don't actually turn over parking. Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna be lowering the number of,
How many do you have now?
right, it's about 7. No,
How many are you gonna take away?
I'm gonna go about 4 to that, 5 to that. Depends on that.
Thank you.
Any other questions, council?
Okay, then, for the public, just like we do normal public comment, if you would like to comment or maybe ask a couple points of inquiry, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record and the stenographer, and I'm sure the team would love to hear what you have to say. Okay, hearing nor seeing none, I close that public comment section. All right, then. Would you like to redo the thunder?
And what thunder would you like me to read?
Okay, at this point, council, you had a resolution and you had a very extensive and detailed packet by the borough manager. I'm not going to read, nor am I going to ask any to read the entire resolution. However, it's resolution number 2023-11, and that is in the recommended motions. So if I have
Wait, before you do the motion, just make sure that you close the public hearing.
Yeah.
First we need to close the.
Oh, thank you. Okay, then at this time, the public hearing on the liquor license transfer is closed. And if I have a proponent for resolution number 2023-11, please proceed, council.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve resolution 2023-11 to approve the transfer of liquor license to 672 East Broad Street, as long as the applicable zoning and accessibility requirements are met.
I'll second.
Okay, I have motions by councilors Munden and Rogers to approve resolution number 2023-11 to approve the transfer of the liquor license to 672 East Broad Street, providing the applicable zoning and accessibility requirements are met. Are there any, other than questions that were already asked to the gentleman, are there any questions, comments? All right, then. All in favor of resolution number 2023-11, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yes.
Okay, noting Councilors Huber and Walsat are opposed. This motion passes 7-2. Madam Secretary. Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Down to our. I have, moving on to administrative reports, provided there's no other correspondence for the.
The only thing that we received was, I put it on my table, and that, Telford is having their tree lighting on Friday.
Oh. All right.
So, if anyone would like to go, do that. Other than that, nothing else.
6:30 as well.
Six to eight.
6:15.
Same concept.
Oh. Nice, thank you. Okay, administrative reports, Mr. Mayor.
The only thing I have to for this week, or this month rather, obviously we got most of it out of the way this weekend, and just, I'll reiterate again, what a great job Souderton Connect did. This is your first year taking it on, and I thought it was an overwhelming success. This tree lighting in the rain had like 100 people. The parade, I thought for the first time in a long time, people had raised floats and stuff. It wasn't, people really got into it, so it was awesome. So thank you, and there were a bunch of other events happening this weekend too. So the only thing left is to remind you that the fire company is selling Christmas trees at the parking lot out here at the top of Main Street, and the Boy Scouts are selling trees at the Scout Cabin. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, and either of those things, I'm sure to go local. Then that, I have nothing more to add.
Perfect, thank you, Mayor. Chief?
Good evening. I submitted our report via the Borough Manager last week. Just a couple updates from you guys. We've had no altercations between the Boy Scouts and the fire company, so tree sales. I'm very happy. For the public, November with 83 traffic stops, 21 citations were issued, 13 vehicle crashes, 2 injuries, only 1 arrest, 204 public service calls, 75 assists to other agencies, and 261 other incidents for 636 calls for the month. Puts us a little over 8,000 for the year, which is a 25% increase over this time last year. Our serious Part 1 crimes are down 10%, our minor are down, sorry, I take that back. Our arrests are down 10%, our serious crimes are down 26%, and our minor crimes are at a 15% increase. Notes for the council. I revisited how we do our bus patrol citations. We've issued 48 for the year thus far. No one has yet to request a hearing on any of them, which is good for us. Last month, Borough Council given us permission to participate in another No Shave November charity fund. This year, we were able to raise $1,250, which is going to God's Treasure House Ministries, an organization that assists women who are leaving domestic violence issues and women who are newly released from prison. So we'll be getting them that money later this week. So thank you to all the people who supported us. I appreciate it. We started our minor renovations in the police station. They're about halfway done. In the normal report, I had been listing how many mental health calls we've been going on. Unfortunately, there was no way to accurately track them until today. We had a meeting with our RMS vendor. There is in fact a way for us to do it. They have to turn it on. So we're hoping to have that turned on. So going forward next year, we'll be able to give you an accurate count. So that is coming. We're going to do a couple other enhancements too, to make it easier for us to get more information out of the record management system. We conducted our first child safety seat check, which was fantastic. We almost had another one, but apparently the woman went into labor while they were waiting, so which I'm really appreciative of. We've been working with code enforcement quite a bit to help 2 families in the borough that are having some issues, and they're now receiving services. Only 2 other additions for you. We did have another officer injured in the line of duty. However, no time was missed, which was good. And in reviewing our reports this year, I've decided I'm going to do a couple changes for next year. Those being, I give you stats and they don't really tell you a whole lot. So what I would like to do in working with the public and Borough Council is start to set some goals that we all mutually agree upon, and then start setting benchmarks towards those goals. And as long as they're attainable goals, at least then we'll know where we stand and where we're going towards. So, obviously for any board members or anyone in the public, if you have any goals that you'd like to see your police department start to chase, please let me know. I'm happy to talk about them. We'll see what we can do, to make that happen. And I think that's about it.
Questions for Chief? Will you still keep your existing metrics that you've been?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, because I think it's a good baseline. One of our biggest challenges, we didn't have the baseline pre-pandemic, which was tough.
Again, with these, we had a 4-hour meeting today with our RMS vendor, and apparently a lot of the options that it has not only weren't turned on, we were unaware of, because there's 12,000 options. So they didn't really want to list them all for us, which I appreciate. So instead, as there were about 50 people representing about half the county police departments there today, and they're going to be sending out an updated list of what is going to make things more efficient for us and be able to get more information to you in a more timely manner.
Okay, if nothing else for Chief, ma'am, you could leave. I know. I wanted to tell you earlier, but yeah, no, we're informal.
Thank you.
Despite our great appearance, we're very informal. Have a good night. All right. Moving to our esteemed Public Works Director, Mr. Cole.
Mr. President, everybody should have received something in the packet for work that we've done in November. I'll just touch on some of the stuff coming up in December now. Christmas decorations, we should be done with them all this week. We're in the process of doing the park buildings and some of downtown at the train station and the nail salon, and probably even on the brewery. So we can decorate down there at the railroad track. Leaf collection is still going pretty strong. Yep, I think after this week it'll be done now. We're a little bit behind on the east section right now. It should be in the west side, but we'll probably be over there by probably Wednesday. I think starting on the upper side here on the east side up around the firehouse tomorrow.
Steve, real quick question. I've noticed several residents have their leaves in the brown like leaf bags, but the trash company won't take them, will they?
No, I think we've been taking them.
Oh, you take those
Yeah,
too?
we just took the bag one time with the break and then give it up to the machine.
But what if they're in an alley? You won't,
No,
you wouldn't see them?
Wednesday.
Okay.
We've seen some out in the street.
Okay.
We've taken them.
If anyone sees them, let your neighbors know. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and our lease trucks are nice. They'll be around to the end of the year, end of December.
Okay.
Because it doesn't take up the salt truck like it used to. So, we also have 3 utility trenches that we want to try and get paved in on the PennDOT road. They're all, one up on East Broad Street and then 2 down on the West Broad Street. We need to we'll probably want to get them paved in with the hot material, before the plant shut down. I think the Eagle goes up, not this Friday, but maybe next Friday it starts slowing down. We still have time for that. And, I was away on vacation last week. I missed a lot of emails last week. I'm trying to catch up on this basketball court out back, but it looks like we've got something going for the basketball court, maybe the end of the week, which is going to involve us hauling in a couple hundred tons of students. So need that here by Thursday. So that should be easy to do. And then, of course, we're getting into that winter time, so we don't have any machines on yet, but we'll probably get 1 or 2 salt machines on before Christmas. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for Steve?
Yeah, Steve, do we have a schedule for the expansion of the northbound parking lot? Putting just the gravel down?
I think you may help me with that, but I think our engineer just got some info on 2 parking lots possibly, right?
Yeah, we're working on it. We just don't. We're working on getting the plans with the newer engineer. We have the old plans. We're just working with a new engineer with the old plans and having them kind of revisit it and
Okay.
see, yeah, so that's kind of where we are.
We're also revisiting the 161 one, so.
Yeah, so we're looking at all the,
161. That was on our list. That's one.
Behind the burger shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna try to work with the burger shop on that, like, for when they do their other, when they're looking at the cargo cities. We told them because of we wanted to kind of coordinate on that effort so we can fix that problem.
Thank you.
Is the thought still that we would initially do gravel? That could potentially be paved at some point, or not? You don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
Okay,
I mean, we're
that's
still
fair.
evaluating our
That's
options.
fair. Sure.
Steve, I just want to clarify that on page 2, when you write description of what I think you say, description of major activities for the month, you said description of mayor activities.
Oh.
So I just want to clarify that I didn't put out flower pots. Or finish concrete work. Yeah. Yeah.
And neither of us broke any gas mains. Okay, thank you, Steve. Now from Mr. Cookford, our solicitor.
You have a report in your packet there. Do you have anything to add to that?
Any questions for Charlotte? All right, and finally, our Steve Borough Mayor.
I'm gonna hold off until we do a lot of business tonight, so pretty much all my comments will be reserved for the.
Okay, fair enough. Let's make the committee reports then. Anyone?
Yeah, I can report for the municipal building. We're gonna reconvene because we scrapped the renovations. So we're gonna start all over. And we have new plans and we're gonna have new meetings and that'll start in January. Yeah, going on 3 years, but we'll get there.
A good update. I'll give a similar update. So we're going through a period of, Stacy, can I steal reset and call it the Great Reset? Another activity that you would have heard for quite some time, we had actually began to market the Cherry Lane property for sale, or at least 3.8 acres of that. And that's still under evaluation because, as everyone knows, we wanted to move the goal established a long time ago was to move eventually the future public works facility there. So we're reevaluating that as well. And probably in January, we'll make a decision at some point to potentially, if we can evaluate some options, potentially sell off the entire 9 or 10 acres of the Cherry Lane. But there's some things, in fairness to Stacy, when we wanted to give her an opportunity to build master plans across the board, but in this case, master capital plan. So, anyone else for other committees?
I can go for public outreach. So on Saturday, the 16th of December, we'll have our office hours out in the lobby from 11 to 1. And then meeting wise, the committee will reconvene in the meeting.
Okay, perfect.
For some goals for 2024.
Oh, you just remind me of administrative, so council won't meet again this month, so there will be no work session for those of you that come regularly. We'll meet again for a reorganization meeting and the first meeting of the year on January 4th. or
Then
Second. Okay. Anyone else? All right, then. All right, at this point, I will open up for the second public comment, which is our normal public comment. So if you're a borough resident, property owner, or business owner, please feel free to come to the podium, state your name and address, the business, what business it is, and we'd love to hear from you.
I don't know, I know that there's been restriction on public speaking, so not really, but I did check the things, they don't really fall under any of those things, but,
Jen, I accept you as a business owner.
okay. My name's Jennifer Revel, and I am the CEO of the Souderton Charter School Collaborative. So I wanted to really come to do a few shout outs, since the beginning of the school year. So one to Chief Newell, who came out to help us with kind of current safety in school, protocols, and so he came and he did some, teaching to the teachers and all of us to really, just learn kind of what, safety looks like from his end, so thank you, Chief Nicole, for doing that. Shout out to the Steves, Steve Cole and Steve Toy. As many of you know, during, I guess it was September and possibly October, Front Street was ripped up, and obviously that's where, all of our arrivals and dismissals come, so they were, incredibly helpful with helping us, both giving us information to be able to prepare for that, because, we know that, at arrival time and dismissal time, we are the hated people of the community because of our buses and all of our cars. But it was very helpful because, there was a lot of moving pieces with that. And so I appreciated both their knowledge coming to tell us that we could prepare for it, even though somebody went on vacation during that time. That he did prepare us for that. So I wanted to say thank you for that. Also wanted to give a personal thank you to the borough for the signs that have been placed up in our little area on Front Street. Between Noble and Concord Lakes, those signs are there to restrict parking during our arrival and dismissal time. So thank you for those signs that actually were put up last time. The buses do hit on the regular, the one bus sign, so that may need to be replaced in the near future. Every time they pull out, they seem to knock into it, which is kind of ironic. And then the last piece I wanted to just say that we have been using the space that used to be Ruth Sanisa's salon as a staging area for our dismissal time. And I'm hoping that, it is going quicker for everyone because the kids are actually out there staging. So when the buses come through, they should not be idling. And it's, I think, a quicker sort of process for that. So I know that we create a huge pressure on the community. And we just want to make sure that, they understand we're trying to also get our kids on safely. So just wanted to kind of update you on the fall with the school and appreciate all the support.
Jennifer, thank you, for you and your staff too. I live literally a half a block or one block up, so I use that area that you're talking about a lot. Some of us others do too. I've never seen it better in all of the years. The traffic control, even during the peak of the road, the macadam being ripped up and the freight building construction, just super. And Richard mentioned the one parking lot, and we had talked to you about it before. We're hoping maybe for your able-bodied teachers and staff, that might be an alternative to ease a little bit of the parking when we get that open as well in the future.
That would be amazing, but I know obviously. there's
More
a
to
lot
come,
out
yeah.
there, but we do appreciate all the support. Little things do make a difference at our little school, so thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Don't need to exclude you earlier. Thank you. We got the library monthly report. All right, then, hearing no other public comment session is closed, and now back to the borough manager.
All right, so, we have a lot of business tonight, so, we'll start off with resolution 2023-08. This is for the tax anticipation loan for 2024, 150,000. This is something that the borough has typically done on an annual basis. This is basically, it's money in lieu of taxes that will be paid later on in the year to make sure we have some money on hand earlier in the year. That's what I've done. Hopefully this might be the last year we have to do it, but that's what's on the agenda for this evening. We have all the documentation from the Avast, and we've worked with the solicitor's office on all the documents that have to be signed for this evening. So. Are there any questions?
It's okay, we're just, we're getting comfortable with, so would you prefer to see the resolutions or motions like that?
Oh,
And we go into it, or do you want to do,
Okay.
or do you want to do all of your, all of your business?
Oh, I don't want to do it all. I think we should do it one by one. It just gets confusing.
We're okay with that, yeah,
Okay.
actually, yeah, I'm fine of it, there's no objection from council. Then, in which case, I like that because what we can do, council, is do the motion, and before we vote, I'll ask, like I always do, if you have any questions, comments, if there's further point of inquiry from Stacy, that would be the appropriate time to do it, and then we'll take the vote. Okay, so then may I have oh, that was tax anticipation, right? Okay, so may I have a motion, for 2023-08?
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve resolution 2023-08, authorizing the execution and private sale of a tax revenue anticipation note to Univest Bank and Trust Company, and pledging anticipated taxes and revenues as security.
Definitely a tongue twister.
I'll second.
Is that Matt?
Yep.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. I have, motions by Councilors Littlefield and Devena to approve resolution 2023-08, authorizing the execution and private sale of tax and revenue anticipation note to the Univest Bank and pledging anticipated taxes and revenues as security. Okay, you would have seen the detail in your packet. Are there any questions, comments?
Just a reference for the public, it's not really 200, I mean, it's not like we're taking out a long-term loan for $250,000. In a couple of months, it'll be paid back, but it costs us next amount. Just so you know, we're not taking out that huge amount of debt.
And we're slowly dwindling that away. It used to be $500,000 years ago, so we're improving even on that short-term borrow. Okay, then, we have the motion, no further comment. All in favor of approving resolution 2023-08, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you, manager. And the next item?
The next item on the agenda is the approval of the resolution for the, budget for 2024.
Okay, may I have a motion for budget approval?
Mr. President, make a motion to approve resolution 2023-09 for the annual budget of the Borough of Souderton for calendar year 2024.
A second.
Okay, motions by Councilor Shally and Munden for approval of resolution number 2023-09 for the annual budget of the Borough of Souderton calendar year 2024. Okay, are there any comments, questions, concerns?
I have a letter,
Hearing no comment,
Tracy. I've got a letter that I wrote regarding the budget.
that was a bad joke, Richard.
Mine's a bad joke or yours is?
Mine was a bad joke.
Oh, all
I
right.
apologize. Please, make the comments.
Okay. Writing this letter, dear Mr. President, Mayor, and fellow council members, in preparation for our vote tonight to increase taxes to support 2024 budget, we should be aware of the following. I'm speaking of myself. I chose to move my family to Souderton in 1998, even against counsel from well-intended friends. I continued my family move to the borough. When I paid my first borough tax bill, it was $150 for the entire year. If this tax increase is passed, my borough tax will then move to $1,100 a year, or nearly $100 every month. We have all been elected to make difficult decisions for the operation of the borough and at the cost of the taxpayers. In my life, I have never seen taxes reduced. After living in Souderton for 25 years, I am discussing retirement with my financial planner. In these discussions, I am being made aware that I cannot continue to afford to live in the current home in Souderton because the expenses have gotten too great in this area. I believe others on this council will find that to be the case as well. I'm asking that the council reevaluate the 2024 budget and attempt to reduce our budget for 2024 and spare the tax-paying citizens additional tax increases. In justification for that, I've got the pool loan. I've listed it, $2.5 million loan that we took out that did not include 500,000 in cash. For that loan, we've been paying for over 12 years. We've got a monthly outgo of over $14,000 that began in 2011 on or about. We have currently paid $800,000 just in interest. And we've still got another 7 years to go on that loan at the current 14,000 plus monthly payment. Total payout for that loan will be 3.3 million roughly. And this doesn't include the 0.5 million cash that we paid out. That's just for the pool. And we've already talked about the Cherry Lane property. We've currently got a loan on that, and that's $400,000. So all of that together, those are two areas that we could be evaluating at reducing, doing something, selling, just to bring the tax burden on the taxpayers down instead of raising. That's my letter. I want to thank you for your time, and respectfully, Richard Walzak. So it's on video for the audio.
Sure, and we all know you, too.
Yeah, they don't.
Thank you, Richard. Any other comment? I would like to make just one quick comment. There's not one person up here that wants to raise tax dollars. And I could talk about this for hours. I don't want to waste your time. I just want you to know, like, we really do deliberate over most every dollar. Some are tough because we have things we don't know. We make the best estimates we can in terms of how many snowfalls are we gonna have? How much is Steve gonna be out plowing roads? We take many things very seriously. First and foremost, public health and safety. And all of you, most of you have been here a lot over the last 2 years since I came back on council. And I don't think a month has gone by that Chief hasn't expressed his super concerns for covering an over 7,000 person borough. You know, we have less police officers in Souderton Borough than other boroughs immediately adjacent to us that have half the residents. We don't operate off of the same funding ability that what I'll call the wealthier townships, where although there may be less population, they're not necessarily, they're more expansive and they're higher value homes. When we look at it, we can compare ourselves to our neighbors, which we do. We can compare ourselves to the region, which we do, and we can compare ourselves to all other boroughs within the state with similar problems, similar sizes. All of the comparisons out there for you. If you look at a little borough, a borough like Schwanksville, for example, they have a millage rate of 27 mils, and it's going up. Souderton, excuse me. And we can go on and on. You know, we're going to move this rate a little bit higher than 9 mils, which is very commensurate. It's greatly improved from other boroughs that have somewhat equally attractive services and safety in a good school district with increasing property values. And so I just wanted to say, just like Richard expressed, all of us feel it. And we've been hitting the streets as best we can. We announce publicly what we do. There's no lack of transparency. We've been open and vocal and, you know, asked for input. And I personally have come, I know that there are people out there that are struggling. In fact, when I came back to council, part of my campaign was the concern over raising trash, raising other services and raising the tax rate. We're very concerned, for example, the senior citizen population that are on fixed incomes. So, you know, you don't always commensurately get an increase in the cost of living adjustments that people that are still working, do. So we've taken all this into consideration. We have a lot of data that supports our ability to do it. And the final thing I want to say is we don't have our action plan in place just yet, but the mayor and I have spent a lot of time behind closed doors in addition with the finance committee to make some real changes because we know we've been lacking things like an adequate capital reserve fund, an adequate rainy day fund, and an ability just to provide the customer service that we think our borough residents need and deserve. But with a new manager that has long-term vision, we need to put that manager in a position of strength and a council and a community that is behind her so that we can achieve some of the things that we only just incrementally talked about over decades. And so what you'll see coming from us in the new year is a new vision. Instead of just lip service to a line item budget that doesn't mean anything if you stay flat, if you're favorable or unfavorable, we're going to put some real substance behind that. And we're going to hold Stacy accountable to delivering on the results that you guys look at Facebook and look at the Nextdoor app and you talk to the people in your community. And it's interesting. The number one thing that I always see is, wow, haven't we been talking about XYZ item for the last 10 years? And this council knows, and our newly appointed manager knows that we are now trying to provide you a government that really serves and is really action oriented. And unfortunately, that does cost money. Richard's exactly right, correct. There've been incremental increases every single year. And we could argue that over the course of 10 or 15 or 20 years, there've been inordinate increases, but you've just got boiled slowly like a frog. And now we're beginning a new era of transparency, and it's not that anything was done wrong in the past. We're so proud of everyone that has served in this borough in a volunteer or a paid capacity. And it's hard for me not to look at Steve, for example, and realize how much his crew does for us, both in terms of actual service and above and beyond volunteer service. Most, if not all, the guys are actually members of the volunteer fire department. I can go on and on and on, but I just wanted to give you that to balance out Councilor Walsak's statement, because he's right. We feel that pain that he's feeling, but we also share that pain with you. We understand, we know where you're coming from. We deliberated on it. We believe that we're making a decision tonight that will take us literally into the future very positively and proactively. Okay, with that, we've already had the motion by Councilors Shally and Munden, resolution number 2023-09 for the budget for calendar year 2024. So all in favor of approving that budget, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, noted. So we have one opposition, Madam Secretary, and that motion passes 8-1. Next agenda item.
Next is the ordinance. This is the ordinance that approves real estate tax rate for 2024. if there's a couple things you have to do with the budget, they're all the same thing, just a couple. And this actually gets the millage rate. If you want, so just for the audience, the general tax rate, general purposes, a mill are going up to 9.15 for 2024. The tax rate for the fire protection fund is going to be 0.30 mil. And the tax rate for the library fund would be 0.30 mil.
Right. That's okay,
Yeah.
correct. Yes, we're on now. Okay. So just to reiterate those numbers, so the new millage is 9.15, followed by remaining the same on fire at 0.3 and same on library at 0.3, which is, puts us in the magnitude of those two items of $86,000 to $90,000. New millage rate total 9.15. So if there are no other clarifications, all in favor, wait a second, I need a motion. I need a motion for these millages.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve ordinance 23-758-03 to approve real estate tax rates for 2024 and setting the discounts and penalties on taxes.
I'll second.
I have motions by Councilors Munder and Rogers to approve ordinance number 23-758-03 for real estate tax rate. Any other clarifications? Okay, then, all in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, that motion passes 8-1.
All right, the next is resolution 2023-10. This is is for the increase in the tax for the trash fees. This was part of the contract, and it was something that had previously been talked about, that it was going to increase incrementally every year, as that's what's per the contract. So with Mascaro, so that has
Okay, and I have a motion for that resolution, please.
Mr. President, make a motion to approve resolution number 2023-10, establishing the fees for curbside collection, of solid waste and recycling materials, and providing penalties for late payments for the year 2024.
Second.
Okay, a motion by Councilors Charlie and Hall to approve resolution 2023-10, establishing the fees for curbside collection of solid waste and recycling materials and providing penalties for late payments for the year. So just so everyone knows, that probably raised your current quarterly trash fee by about $5 per quarter. And as Stacy mentioned, that was predetermined that we would have these incremental increases by council 3 years ago when they awarded two years ago when they awarded other contracts. Any other comments, questions, or concerns? All right, then, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. And item 7E.
this is the authorization to advertise to increase our sewer rates. So just for some history, the last time the sewer rates were increased was in 2017. And that was a 5% increase, and that's what I'm proposing for next year for the sewer. So the new rates would be $49.50 and then $70.50 for commercial. So this is just authorization to advertise for this. This would be approved at your January 2nd meeting, but you have to, because it's an ordinance, part of the ordinance that we have to update. So the motion tonight is just to have authorization to advertise for it. And I will also say, just so, you know, people understand, our sewer plant is 30 years old. And while we have an amazing staff and they do a great job and they really maintain that, they're probably one of the best maintained plants I've seen. And they do get as much life out of it. And 30 years is a really long time for a plant, so that means that there's going to be some things that are gonna have to come in years following. And you never know about an emergency that could come up, and that's why we really should incrementally be raising this so we can have a capital fund and make sure that we are prepared for anything that may come up in the future. And that we're able, because this is not something that we can just cut off when something breaks. The water treatment plant is something that we have to address immediately, and there's no cheap thing. And we just are entering into our 5-year permit with DEP. There is only one requirement that we have to meet. And we're just starting that permit, and that's gonna cost us like $250,000 in order to achieve that. So, and every time 5 years comes, that's when new requirements come from DEP. That's when they can put more requirements on us and regulations that we must follow. So that is why I made this recommendation to do the 5%, especially since it hasn't been done since 2017. And I thought that that was something just to make sure that we're prepared and we do have a rainy day fund if something were to happen. I just want that.
Well, thank you. All right, that's motion 24,759. May I have a motion?
Mr. President, I'd like to authorize the advertisement of ordinance 24,759-01, amending the sewer funds for 2024.
I'll second.
So after the advertisement period, will we vote on that?
Yeah, you'll vote on January 2nd.
Okay. Did we didn't include it in the budget.
It is included in the budget. I mean, the worst thing that would happen is that, as long as you don't raise it more than what you were asking, if you were to not approve it, for some reason, I don't believe that's gonna be a big problem. It's more of a problem, the increased cost.
Gotcha.
And you're not.
Gotcha. Okay, so I have a motion by Councilor Banana and Munden to advertise ordinance 24,759-01 to amend the sewer funds as discussed for 2024. I will note, I looked, some people don't look at that. Sometimes you say, well, what's a cubic foot? Well, I know from a previous life, there's about 7.5 gallons of cubic foot of water. So for me, and if you'll notice, your sewer bill trails your water bill. So there's a linearity there. And my bill runs commensurate with my water bill. The rate that Stacy mentioned, that $49.50, is for everybody standard minimum for your first 375 cubic feet. And then there's like literally pennies on the gallon after you get past that rate. So for my personal bill, I looked at it and all things being considered equal, my rate will go up about $4 a quarter for the sewer usage. Okay, so we had the motion, and is there any other comment or question? And all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, then, and full class grant.
So the next section is to authorize the advertisement for this for the pool plastering, the activity pool. So I think 2 years ago, the other pool was done and replastered. What we are doing with this, should hopefully help out. First of all, you have to refill the pool after you plaster it. So we're trying to get it done in like the March timeframe, so we don't have to keep refilling the pool and have to, we're trying to do it right around the time where you would probably be opening up the pool, like March or April. So we don't have to waste the water on that. But the other thing we're doing is we do have an account through Penn Bid now, and we are going to do this through Penn Bid. So that should have more options and hopefully we'll get a lot more bidders, and we are doing this a lot earlier, so our hope is that will do very well.
Yeah, well done getting us out so far in advance. Okay, I'll have a motion.
Mr. President. Mr. President, I'll make a motion to authorize the advertisement for the bids for the pool plastering project for the exhibit pool.
I'll second.
All right, I have motions by Vice President Huber and Councilor Littlefield to authorize the advertising for the bids for full plastering for the activity pool. I don't think comments necessary, so all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right, the next one is approval to execute proposal to hire associates for the annual audit services for the borough. So this is the auditor we've had, I think, for a really long time. I'm not really sure how long, but a long time. So, I would recommend that we do keep the same auditor. So, I'll make no objection. And then I can sign off on it.
Yeah. I don't know. All right, may I have a motion, please?
Mr. President, I make a motion, to approve the execution of the proposal from Steyer Associates to perform the audit for the borough financials for fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023.
Second?
I'll second it.
Okay, I have, motions by Councilor Rogers and Sally to approve, execution of the proposal from Steyer to perform the audit for fiscal year ending December 31st. And they will execute that audit, Stacy, when in the first quarter,
Yeah.
and we'll get the results like mid-year.
Yes, that's the hope.
Yeah, before I vote, can we try to push that by like no later than June 30th? Because the information they share is really excellent. And it aids us in our budgetary discussions, which I'd like to, we've been trying to move the needle a little bit and have those deliberations before October.
Oh, yeah, no, I think we can do that. I'll talk to them this year. I'm not really sure what the delay was prior, so I can definitely make sure we.
Yeah, there's a lot in it. I mean, it's super comprehensive.
No, I think they do a good job.
Okay, then all in favor of allowing Steyer to do the audit for this fiscal year, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. We're getting close.
Okay, well, this portion of the meeting is very important because this is where we're gonna save money. So, I'm gonna start it off with that. So the next resolution is to approve to execute the Delaware Valley Workers' Comp Trust agreement. So Delaware Valley Trust is a insurance pool kind of system where all these municipalities, school districts, authorities, all get together and we all work together to, it was actually started in the 80s in order to, because the insurance was so hard to get insurance that was affordable for municipalities. And that's where this all came about. There was a couple of municipal managers that started it, and it's been going strong ever since. And it has really been a huge, it has a lot of value-added services, training, things that we were required to do. And so I did go and put a proposal through, ask for a proposal from them. I worked with them in every municipality I've worked in, and we are going to save about 20% by going with them. So I think originally we were about 83,000 with our current provider. We will be at 57,000 for the annual cost. And in addition to that, it's going to help police, public works, sewer. They have trainings that are free, also administrative staff. There's a lot of different value-added services they can provide us at little to no cost. And this is just the first trust. There's other trusts. There's the health trust. There's the, and the property liability. And my plan is to hopefully get us into all three, but this is the first one, and this will definitely be saving us money, and we have a lot of support, and it's a very good program. And there's a lot of different boroughs around here that have it. It's not just a big township thing. Collegeville Borough has it. Telford's part of it as well. So I think it's really important that we take this step to do this. And I highly recommend that, that this is approved. I think this is a really important first step, and it's gonna save us money.
Okay. Points of inquiry before I ask for this motion.
Did we budget the higher amount,
That's good.
so we're gonna have extra money there?
That's the plan. I mean, this, and what I'll tell, and also for the record, so you understand kind of what the vision is, is that I'm evaluating all of the services we have, I'm evaluating everything that we're doing right now. And then I'm providing some guidance to council a little by little. I mean, I've only been here 2 months, and I think I've done a lot, to even get these things started. But just realize this is just a start. And that's how we're going to, even though there is a big tax increase, the hope is with all these savings going forth, we won't have to do those kinds of things, but we're gonna be able to live a little more within the means. And that's really what we're trying to do. So this is just the first step of it. And I feel very strongly that we're gonna do a lot more. There's a lot of other things we can look at. So I just wanted to make that comment to you.
Lisa, I think I know the answer, but can you clarify? I noticed on the fire within the WC, like, within that trust there, the fire was 0.
The reason fire is 0 is, that we are covered through SWIFT through the state.
Through the state, okay.
And there's really no way to go around that. And there's no, they used to try to do it, and there's no way, that we can, they can afford to do that. So we'll have to keep SWIFT for the fire company, but that's fine. That's actually pretty.
Okay, gotcha. Other questions?
Stacy, I, trust you and fine if we pass it tonight, but I do want to question, and sorry to do that public thing, but we didn't talk about it in the work session. Mike, through the last couple of years, and then especially through the interview process for his replacement, was very vocal about his concern with this. So, you know why that was and what you're proposing differently that he doesn't.
I honestly can't, I don't know what his concerns are, but what I can tell you is I've worked with them in every place I've been, and, I've never had a problem with them. So I don't see the downside to this at all, and it's saving us money, and we've been,
And
really.
coverage wise, it's not.
No, the coverage is great, and it's actually better. I mean, we just had a situation where we had a workers' comp situation, and the person that went through it had a difficult time and I think it delayed a lot of times getting a person back on duty. There's a nurse that literally will walk you through everything. So, and get you where you need to be and get this person back to work as quickly as possible. And, I've used it in every single municipality I've been at. I never had any problems, so I can't speak on his concerns, so.
Makes me want to talk about it in work session, but that's just. I'm also fine if we don't.
Thank you. And in your experience, how have the prices incrementally changed over the years?
Well, we're only gonna be in one trust to start. Once we get into other trusts and everything, we'll get a discount from there as well, because once you're in more than one, you get a multi-trust discount. But usually, we are very good, you know, we've been very good on our workers' comp. We're not, our staff is safe, and it's not something that comes up a lot, so our rating is good.
Right.
I think we're gonna be okay going forward, but they usually don't go up a whole lot. I mean, there can be times where things happen, but I don't envision it. And the thing is, if it ever were to occur, then we would have to look at other coverage. I mean, it's just like anything else. But I don't envision that happening because I really think, I wholeheartedly, there's very few things I will say 100%. I'm saying this is 100%. And this is something I feel very strongly about.
Right, and we're mandated to provide this workers' compensation.
yeah.
So, I mean, it's state mandated, you have equal or better coverage for, I think, the first rate in this one trust was like $20,000 less, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, can I have a proponent for this motion, lead the motion, please?
All right, I will, Mr. President, make a motion to approve and authorize the execution of the Delaware Valley Workers' Compensation Trust Agreement effective January 1st, 2024.
I'll second.
I have motions by Councilor Rogers and London to approve and authorize the execution of the Delaware Valley Workers' Compensation Trust Agreement effective January 1st. That's, Stacy didn't explicitly say it, but it is time sensitive, so, with cumulative work sessions, again, a
And
detail.
that was the only reason I did it, is because there is a cost saving and we're not meeting again for, otherwise I would have tried to do it the other way. And that's the only thing, this is how it happened.
Sure, okay, besides, I gave you advance opportunity, but are there any other comments or concerns?
Well, I don't think she's trying to go shopping at Walmart. I mean, she's got experience with the company. So. You know, I'm just saying, you know, she's had experience, she's dealt with them, what in other
Yeah.
municipalities.
It's also, I'm fine with that.
Okay,
And I think we all know
okay,
it's complicated.
yeah,
You know, and it's serious, you know, to your point, we're not buying ink pens, you know, or stationary products.
yeah.
Okay, if there are no other concerns, I'll take a vote then, all in favor of executing this new Delaware Valley Workers' Compensation Trust Agreement effective January 1st, please say aye. Any opposed? There you have it. That's the matter.
All right, the last thing is also a cost saving. Thing. This is it's a service agreement basically for our technology services. Again, time sensitive, which is why I'm bringing it up now. But it is, what I've noticed is, this company is the company that I used actually in my previous, they're really great to work with. They are providing us with all the securities necessary. They can help us with streamlining some things, getting our technology upgraded. They can also work with the capital replacement project, process for all of our technology equipment, and they're willing to help us with that as well. And the cost is cheaper monthly than what we're currently paying. So I think we're paying about almost $2,600, and it's like under $2,000.
And will this help to replace the multitude of confusing systems the office staff has to deal with now?
It's gonna be the first start, because once we get, first of all, we don't have, our system's kind of set up a little strange, and I think once we get them in here and get them to do things kind of more methodically, then we can go, and they said they would help us by being like a consultant basically, and sitting in on when we look at different softwares going forth and everything, which is what is gonna be the next step on a lot of this. So I feel very comfortable with them. The chief met with them, and Tracy also met with them, so, and I believe everyone felt comfortable with it, so,
And their service level agreement is comparable or better than what we have now.
yeah.
Their tiers are interesting, that it's the same response time regardless of severity. Not seen that before.
So I've been beating a dead horse on getting auto pay for our residents. I hope that somebody can come in here and make my trash auto pay. So, can they do that?
Well, it's not really the tech company that does that, but I mean, what I would like to do and what we're going to do is we're gonna reevaluate all of the software, all of the things that are going on and try to streamline things, and that would be part of it. Absolutely, and there's always a way to do everything. So we can always look into that. It's on my list, I promise you. I heard it, so. But
Are they gonna replace our like email hosting and all that kind of stuff too? I see that as like the second side here. So like, they're gonna replace the web, not the website hosting, right? That's not separate, but the applications are email and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, so they're gonna be and they're gonna get us up to date with a couple of things that haven't been happening. So I'm gonna make sure that we're all secure, we have everything ready, so we don't end up on the news with seeing somebody who has any issues. So, so that's the plan.
Okay, now motion.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the execution of the proposal from Premier Technology Solutions LLC for the Network Management Services Support Plan. Second.
Yeah, motion by Councilors Munden and Hall to approve the execution of the proposal from Premier Technology Solutions LLC for the Network Management Services Support Fund. Are there any questions of the?
And honestly, seriously, the borough, we do need to consolidate from, we tried to go in there one day, spend an afternoon, and it's amazing what gets done in there and the amount of manual data that moves. I think there's major efficiencies, so I'm hoping they can help consult in there, because I think there is some real opportunity just from a workflow and job satisfaction.
No, absolutely. Yeah, and I think we'll get there with these guys. It was super impressive to see their demonstration. Even they demoed live for us. Stephanie just asked about the tiers in the service. I think that's what you were saying, the tiers.
Yeah,
in the
just
service.
for our response time,
Response
regardless of the severity of the situation. I thought that was interesting.
Oh, yeah, but they're so networked in their primary, from the CEO to the response technicians that are literally the way they work is not just on call, but instant escalation up through their management rank. But Matt, you know, to your point, I think possibilities are endless, which will be a good asset to, you know, engage with them when we get there. But first, we'll address risk to make sure the server, I know even this week, some of the counselors have had access problems. I mean, that stuff literally disappears in month one as well. Okay, then, I had the motion by Councilors Munden and Hall, all in favor to allow the contract with Premier, please say aye. Any opposed? All right, Madam Secretary, is there any other business for tonight?
Covered everything.
Oh, can I ask a quick question? You kept saying the next meeting is the second, but I believe our first meeting will be 8th.
No, it's the second. So,
It will be on the second,
next year is a reorganization week.
so we have to have it.
Yeah, you have to have it by code, so that will also serve as your,
Right.
as your regular meeting as well. So January 2nd, we will be meeting, and then we will not meet again until our work session.
We wanted to go see the Telford Borough Council, so we won't be able to do that. Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Are you guys doing the same thing?
No, that's their regular.
Oh, we are doing it? Oh,
Or your reorg?
The understanding is that you're supposed to do the reorg on the first Monday of the month in January. So
Right, but-
unless it's a holiday.
It is
If
all.
it's a holiday, you can move it to the next Monday.
I
You
see.
can choose to do it on that.
Okay.
So before we agree to that.
Well, do you want to do it on the second, because then you can go to their meeting on the 8th?
Can I say a
I'm
quick show,
flexible.
can I say a quick show of hands? Council okay with meeting on the second?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'm thrilled about it now.
Okay. Fine. If there are no other, comments, motion to adjourn. So moved. Thank you all for coming.